A lot of rappers are wondering who Jay Electronica is. This video isn't for those rappers. This video is for rappers who are wondering what sex transmutation is. What the fuck is sex transmutation? What is it? Let's find out. As far as the definition, it's not what you think. Probably. Let me read you a little excerpt from my favorite book of all time, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, an entire chapter of which has been solely responsible for the popularity of the concept and its application across the world since the Great Depression.
Sex transmutation is simple and easily explained. It means the switching of the mind from thoughts of physical expression to thoughts of some other nature. Sex desire is the most powerful of human desires. When driven by this desire, men develop keenness of imagination, courage, willpower, persistence, and creativity ability unknown to them at other times. So strong and appealing is the desire for sexual contact
that men freely run the risk of life and reputation to indulge it. When harnessed and redirected along other lines, this motivating force maintains all of its attributes of keenness of imagination, courage, etc., which may be used as powerful creative forces in literature, art, or in any other profession or calling, including, of course, the accumulation of riches. If you look at the highest selling music of all time, and you look at the most critically acclaimed music of all time, you will find love and sexual desire to at least subtly remain in the back of not all but many of these albums. If you study the biographies of the most successful men and even women of history, you will notice that each of them has highly developed sex natures. If you stop masturbating, I said the word, I guarantee you will swear that you have superpowers. Like, masturbation is actually a problem, to a degree. For lots of men, you might be surprised. There have been countless studies on why it's just fucking really not good for you. Now, it does have its merits, don't get me wrong, but this video is not particularly about those merits. And that being said, if you don't want to look at those studies, go to reddit.com/r/nofap. And I encourage you to take a look at some of the, you're not gonna see dicks or anything like that. You're not gonna see pictures. Last time I checked. I encourage you to look at some of the anecdotes, the personal stories these men have told of the effect masturbation has had on their self-esteems. They are victims to their own lacks of self-control in regards to the sex urge. And with girls basically feeling and acting more sexually free than fucking ever, which is like, dude, why would I have a problem with that? But with that, it's extremely, literally fucking difficult for a lot of these guys to just even get out of their minds, get out of their heads. And if I didn't struggle with this to some degree, I wouldn't even bother making this fucking video, okay? So is the solution blaming the girls, like a lot of guys seem to think it is for some reason? No, in my eyes. I think that's counterintuitive, but I also think, is the solution shaming the guys for being supposedly creepy? Which I can understand where a girl's coming from if she's saying that. No, on contrary, I think the solution is within the guys. And I'm sure many girls probably would agree with this. I mean, this may sound ridiculous, but I think that if everybody in the world, not just guys, this might sound a little extremist, but everyone like entirely refrained from self-masturbation, despite how difficult it is, the world would actually be a better place, especially in regards to all these girls on Facebook complaining about how they cannot go out in public without being weirdly hit on by creepy, desperate guys. Like, for any guy watching this, have you guys ever gone a full day without, you know, fucking waxing your carrot? How about a week? How about a month? Anyone who has made it to the other side can vouch that the reward is more than worth the effort, more than worth the application of sheer willpower and persistence. In Think and Grow Rich, it is also stressed that, far from becoming genii, because of great sex desires, the majority of men lower themselves. It actually says this in the book, through misunderstanding and misuse of this great force, to the status of the lower animals. When I heard that, I was like, dude, I can't do this shit anymore. When I mentioned reddit.com/r/nofap, there is actually an entire internet community. I mean, that's what subreddits are. It's real shit. In the words of the community themselves, it says this on the sidebar somewhere.
We host rebooting challenges in which participants,
also known as my fellow
Fapstronauts,
abstain from pornography and masturbation for a period of time. Whether your goal is casual participation in the monthly challenge as a test of self-control, or whether excessive masturbation or pornography has become a problem in your life and you want to quit for a longer period of time, you will find a supportive community and plenty of resources here.
I mean, you basically stop masturbating for extended periods of time. And what I participated in for the whole month, No Fap November, I loved it. And let me tell you some of the things that I noticed happened. Maybe it'll inspire someone watching this. I have no idea. I've done this a few other times in the last few years with like a whole month. At least eventually, I'm probably just gonna stop masturbating overall. You know why? Here are a couple reasons. There are two of them. Number one, I got got so much more work done because my energy levels are through the roof. Most of the time during the year, I just aim to do it on weekends. That's 5 days of the bitch number. Weekdays with no carrot waxing, no pope beating, no dolphin punching, no ferret feeding. And people want to know why or how I have so much energy in these videos and everything and my music and all that bullshit. It's because I don't masturbate as much as I used to. Probably more than any other reason. But that's just me, and it's played a crucial role in my journey of self-development. One that I never seem to even consciously think about, let alone talk about, obviously, if you know the rest of the content on my channel. That's really rare that I would ever talk about something like this. But with NoFap, okay, after a couple of days, I do push-ups and feel like I'm pushing the world away from myself rather than push myself up from the ground. My life on NoFap is quite comparable to Chuck Norris, you could say. At least in my own eyes. And I bet that yours might even be too. Maybe even if you're a girl. I don't know, I'm not a girl, I cannot experiment with that for myself. But after a week or so, for a while, it would get so difficult for me. Like the second week. Now it's kind of like smooth sailing. I usually get that feeling around a little bit past a month. It used to be really difficult for me. But honestly, I kept going and surprise, spoiler alert, there seems to be some sort of a correlation with the length of my abstinence periods, my times of NoFap, and my persistence to get back up on my feet and try again after relapsing. What a fucking scientific discovery that is. Wow! I'm being sarcastic as far as clearly, dude, it's no surprise. It only makes sense. But I feel like if you yourself were to experience it firsthand on your own perspective, your own proactive behalf, I swear that you would probably be surprised at how it actually works and what it feels like and shit like that. Everything in your life kind of just skyrockets. I like to think of testosterone as the life chemical. I mean, there are other chemicals you could probably say that about. And I mean, there's also a degree of diminishing returns when you look at things like steroids, for example. But as far as having a highly developed sex nature, quitting masturbation, or at least the act of fantasizing about and watching porn and bullshit like that, is really just an upward spiral. Because if you want to talk about porn, you're not really even horny. Your brain is just kind of craving dopamine. The other reason, number 2, is time. Anyone who watches my channel knows I'm fucking obsessed with time. I have found that masturbation is a fucking waste of time. You know how many other super fucking productive things you can do that make you so much happier to see those results? What kind of bullshit do you see after you finish? A little cream pie in the toilet? That's all you see. You don't see all these comments talking about how dope it is. You don't see a finished product that's ready to make you money, bring you more followers. Next time you masturbate, start seeing how much time you waste. Every single fucking second counts. Every second. If masturbation doesn't contribute to your long-term goals, you have absolutely no reason to participate in it. And a lot of guys might watch this and be like, yeah, but bro, it feels good. But okay, if it feels better than the payoff of a giant orgasm of a feeling that comes from your working obsessively, continuously toward your fucking life purpose and actually knowing that you are getting closer and closer to it every day, no matter what else happens, what matters more? What really matters more? What is really more worth your time? Because the value of your time is subjective. Dude, it's totally up to you. And this is completely an extremist philosophy. One that I don't feel like I have fully embodied myself. But that's really only I'm gonna watch this video so many times just to remind myself of the benefits and all that. But it's really only to help pull you and even me toward understanding those benefits. If that's too much for you, dude, there are things like masturbation diets and such. There's one Mark Manson talks about in Models, one of my all-time favorite books. The first audiobook I actually ever listened to. If you guys want to check it out and read the reviews, I'll link it in the description. He talks about something where you do it once a week, the same time every week, in the same place, on the same day. Make sure it's a nice place, and use lube if you have to. It's meant to be an experience, as if it's really happening, in a way. But go slow, instead, to really visualize it yourself. And visualize it as a girl you know, or a girl you have physically seen before. Not a porn star or a model or some actress or some celebrity, but something very realistic. A girl you know you're very attracted to, and who might even be attracted to you as well. I haven't tried this, but dude, if you try it, and 3 months later, you find yourself fucking that girl at that time, in that place, you could message me on Instagram, but I will be just as proud of you as I will also be unsurprised, because it really sounds effective. It sounds like a very effective method, or diet, or I don't know what to call it. Now, I want to finish this by talking about energy. Elliot Hulse, this big-ass strength camp CEO, dude, this guy is a monster. He said that it is the management of your energy, not the management of your dick. Don't think in terms of your dick, think in terms of the energy. You take the same energy that you typically put into satisfying a woman, but you put that into your bars, your verses, the quality of your music, the interactions with your fans and other professionals in the industry, your personal magnetism. You take that energy and make love to the universe instead. Sometimes people ask me about a line or two. I write about my dick fucking the universe. That's what it's about. I am discharging my sexual energy into the universe. This is real shit. Like fucking monks and spiritual teachers talk about this and shit, but rappers are quick to hear about it and be like, dude, this kid is on fucking, Molly. I'm gonna go do some cocaine off a stripper's clit and go get my dick sucked by a fucking gilf with no teeth. But in reality, these guys don't prosper for as long as they want. They lack vitality in a long run aspect and wonder why in their 50s and 60s they can't do a fraction of what they used to be able to do. It's because they took all their sexual energy in their youth and allocated it without much transmutation, without development. And there's nothing really wrong with that. Like, no judgment. Meanwhile, the few artists still making hits constantly at that age, for whatever reason, you might look at and be like, wait, Samuel wasn't kidding. Do you guys have any experience with no-fap or sex transmutation? What is it? What's it like? What do you guys think of it? Please let me know in your comments below. Also, in the comments below, let me know any ideas or anything you want me to talk about in future videos, and I'll give you a shout out if and when I use them. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up. There are links at the bottom of the description to all my social media. Also at the bottom of the description, there are links to my hardware and software production kits where you can find all the hardware and software that I use to make music and these videos. If you buy any, I get commission, which helps me build this channel and keep making these videos for you guys. I made all the beats in this video. If you want to use them, you can find the links to each one in the description from first to last or at samuel.earth/beats. Make sure to leave a like if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you could turn on that little bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can find me everywhere, and I will see you then.